Darnell resigns, billions for sea defense, and EPA approves Exxon drilling campaign. I am Enrico Bulford, and this is Uncut News. To see news happening, send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. The president has announced that his embattled Minister of Local Government, Nigel Dildo Darmlall, has finally tendered his resignation as a Minister of Government as well as a Member of Parliament, and he has accepted the resignation. The president said he never intervened in the matter since he wanted to allow the system to work. The government has been under heavy criticism from the APNU opposition and a number of other groups and non-governmental organizations over its treatment of the matter. The teenage victim reportedly complained of having to face questions again about the alleged assault. Once she informed the police that she no longer wanted action to be taken in the matter, the police file was resent to the Director of Public Prosecutions, and the DPP advised that since the complainant was withdrawing from the case, there was no legal basis for the case to continue. So, I guess this means they're probably going to transfer Darmlall to India now. The PPP is now expected to name a new Member of Parliament to replace Darmlall. Once the Speaker of the National Assembly has received Darmlall's resignation, GCOM will extract one of the names from the list to fill the seat left vacant by him. In Region 2, besides Darmlall, the other geographical constituency candidates for the PPP were Vilma De Silva, Arnold Adams, and Nandrani Kunja. Essentially, only one of them can be the new parliamentarian. De Silva currently serves as the regional chairman of Region 2. Adams is the Prime Minister's representative in Region 2. Meanwhile, Kunja is a food caterer who has been recognized for her work with the school's feeding program under this government. The next mayor and deputy mayor of the municipality of Georgetown are to be elected tomorrow, and former Mayor Patricia Chase Green and Deputy Mayor Alfred Mentor are returning to the council, despite both having lost in their respective constituencies. However, because of the undemocratic nature of our current constitution, they were selected anyway by their respective parties to serve on the council nonetheless, but instead of constituent candidates, they are considered under the proportional representation. Guyana's suspension from the Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative has been lifted after the nation published its 2020 EITI report on the 30th of June 2023. The EITI board lifted the suspension after the nation failed to submit its fourth report on the extractive industries in a timely manner. The government welcomed the announcement and remains confident that all systems will remain in place to ensure that Guyana is not placed in a similar position in the future. EITI members are required to disclose information along the extractive industry value chain. In national development news, the government is allocating $4.9 billion from this year's budget for the protection and preservation of sea and river defenses as part of an approach to protect coastal and riverine residents and farmers from the threats of climate change. The Ministry of Public Works is inviting sealed bids for maintenance works on sea and river structures in Regions 3, 4, 5, and 6, with the works divided into 16 lots, totaling an estimated $198.2 million. The maintenance works include the incorporation of timber revetment and gabion mattress rock slopes along earthen embankments in various locations across the country.
Attention truck owners. Between potholes, bad drivers, and high fuel prices, you've got 99 problems to deal with. But with Powered Automotive, your engine ain't one. That's because they stock high-quality parts and spares you need at prices you can't beat. Visit them at Lot 491 EE Eccles or call or WhatsApp them at telephone number 697017. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana.
Tired of waiting on hold, tracking down a delivery driver, or carrying cash for your food orders? GT Eat is here to make your life easier. Guyana's first cashless food ordering and delivery app. Choose from Georgetown's top restaurants, pay securely with your card, and get your food delivered right to your doorstep. With the convenience of being able to order from your phone and the added feature of tracking your order, GT Eats is the ultimate solution for all your food needs. Download the app on Apple and Android stores and start ordering the easy way today.
On a related note, Contracts for the construction of 4 new pumping stations in Regions 3 and 4, which are prone to flooding, have been open for bidding at an estimated cost of $3.7 billion. The pump stations will benefit farmers and residents in several areas, including Metten-Meerzorg, Jimbo Grove, Bellevue, and Letterkenny. The government plans to establish a compliance commission to supervise agencies in sectors that lack direct regulatory bodies. The commission will address gaps in Guyana's finance sector in accordance with anti-money laundering/countering the financing of terrorism stipulations. The bill is part of a series of legislation being introduced ahead of the nation's upcoming AML-CFT on-site evaluation and examination in September of this year. The president met with South Korean Prime Minister Han Duck-soo during the 45th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting in Trinidad and Tobago. The discussions included education and training opportunities, manufacturing, and technology. The South Korean Prime Minister committed to multiplying investments in CARICOM by 5 times. The president also met with China's Assistant Minister of Foreign Affairs and disclosed China's long-term partnership with Guyana and the nation's leadership in food security. A schoolgirl who was already facing 19 murder charges in relation to the Maria Dorm fire has been charged with another murder after the death of a 13-year-old victim, bringing the death toll to 20. The accused was remanded to the Juvenile Holding Center in Sofia, and the matter was adjourned until July the 20th for a further report and additional statements. A man identified as 29-year-old Leon Kum was found dead in his home at Kilcoy Squatting Area, Quarantine Berbice this morning. It is understood that wounds were observed on the victim's neck, throat, and cheek. According to the news, several suspects have been taken into police custody. However, details surrounding what transpired remain sketchy, but investigations are ongoing. And now for today's oil update. ExxonMobil has received approval from the Environmental Protection Agency to commence its 35 multi-well exploration and appraisal drilling campaign in the Starboard Block, offshore Guyana. The drilling activities are expected to begin in the third quarter of 2023, and Exxon's project summary indicates that at least 50 simultaneous development projects will be pursued in the resource-rich acreage, increasing the risk of a massive spill and potentially leaving Guyana to foot any cleanup costs above the US $600 million insurance and US $2 billion affiliate company guarantee provided to the EPA. The opposition has expressed concern over the rapid pace of the petroleum sector's development and the nation's lack of expertise to monitor and regulate the sector.
Robbery season might be over, but the streets are still mean. That's why you need to get security for your home or business with Sheriff Security. Sheriff Security has well-trained guards, armed and unarmed patrol, marine patrol, canine services. They speed even our drones. Why? Because your security is their highest priority. You've seen the rest. Now hire the best. Hire Sheriff Security Service today.
Now for our Uncut News, Views Poll Question of the Day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Ghana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. Last night I asked, what are some things the government should be investing in aside from infrastructure?
But before we get to that, I'm proud to announce our latest addition to the Noble Army, Richard Singh, who is supporting us at the reporter level, the highest level of monthly support we've received so far. So thank you, Richard Singh. And also, a special thank you to David Griffith, Dion Nascimento, Project Zero, and Dimitri V. I appreciate you all. And if you're watching at home and you'd like to support our movement, just hit the link in the video description.
Davy Samaru says, it aches my heart to see the city riddled with slums and people living in shacks and abandoned buildings. I think some of these people are victims, while others are just lazy and need to search for a job. I also believe that the government should seek out the victims and remove them from that neighborhood and place them into multiple complex homes and remove that old building from the city. Indeed, I agree. Now for tonight's question. How do you feel about the results of the Darnwall case? Do you believe that justice was truly served, or is this representative of a massive problem with our nation's justice system? I want to hear from you. So, think about that question. Tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out tomorrow for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bolford saying good night, folks.